We are going to go over the 5 best episodes of Monsters Season 2. There are 24 episodes in total. We're going to do 5 best and 5 worst. Because if we did 10 best and 10 worst, that would be pretty much all the episodes. So here's a look at all the scores that each episode of Monsters got. And 3 of them got 9s. Far Below, Bond to Silk, and Per Chance to Dream. And since we're here to buck trends, most top 5 or top 10 lists, they go from 10 to 1 or 5 to 1. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to go from 1 to 5. The best episode of Monsters, I think, of Season 2 is Far Below, which I gave a 9 out of 10. This one's written by Michael McDowell, and it's about a subway team that fights abominable snowmen. Well, that's what they look like. They look like abominable snowmen. But they're supposed to be, I think, Yetis. Subway Yetis. It sounds a little goofy, but Michael McDowell's writing is so sharp and smart that it makes the implausible plausible. The guy who runs this subway maintenance team is this guy, Dr. Rathmore.
Oh my God! Yo, babe, better late than never.
Lutchinsky! Out of there! Jesse's down! Attention all units! Back up to Station 4. Man down at Station 3. No, don't kill it!
And he seems like a good guy at first. He's just trying to keep the Yeti population under control, and he's being paid very handsomely by the city of New York City to kill these Yetis and make sure they don't infest other parts of the subway. These Yetis stay within a small part of the entire New York City subway line. And Dr. Rathmore keeps them under control, but he has an annoying government bureaucrat that's nosing around and wondering why so much money is going to Dr. Rathmore. And this is when Michael McDowell's writing head and shoulders above that writes monster episodes.
All right, here's another. Why does a corporal working under you make more than an inspector earns outside?
We call it upstairs.
Why do you make more money than the police commissioner himself?
You ever hear of hazardous duty supplements?
Riding the subway is hazardous duty. I'm just trying to understand why your department is line itemized as a division of police services, while your appropriations are handled by a special committee every year.
Let me see if I can explain.
It has some cool action scenes where they're walking around with fully automatic weapons. We get to see them kill some of these monsters. And we get an ending that is probably the only demerit to this episode. It's a little goofy. When you see these monsters up close, they don't look the best. They look a lot better when they're in the shadows, kind of jumping back and forth and killing the maintenance crew. But I think Far Below is the best episode of Season 2 of Monsters. And you really feel that Dr. Rathmore, while he is kind of crazy, is in some way doing a good thing. He is keeping this population under control, even if he uses very authoritarian measures to get this accomplished. Far Below's the best episode. The second best episode is Bond of Silk.
They left that here for us?
Darling, you don't get to be top Southwest regional tractor salesman without knowing a little something about wheeling and dealing. This here is your basic fringe benefit.
Starts with a couple, Portia and Nash, that got a really good deal for a honeymoon suite at a hotel that not many other people are staying at. I guess they wanted to give them a good deal to check out the place first to make sure it's, safe for the other people that will eventually come to this hotel. And this suite is located in the basement of this quote-unquote hotel, and they find that it has a spider web. Not a bed, but a spider web. But this guy Nash is not very smart and decides to jump on the spider web and get caught.
Dr. Silk.
Nash.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! Woo! This is more fun than getting frisky on a dang waterbed. Woo! Woo! Hey,
What's the matter?
stuck.
Stuck? How can you be stuck?
Well, if I knew how I was stuck, I would get myself unstuck.
He gets killed pretty quickly, And Portia then takes over the rest of the episode. And you get a chase scene for the last half of the episode. Not just for a couple minutes, but really for about 10 minutes. She is battling with this spider. They use stop motion animation, which for this series looks pretty good. And you get to see quite a bit of the spider. He isn't always just hiding in the shadows, which I actually like. I like the fact that you actually get to see the thing and how it moves. And it just takes a simple concept and executes it really well. It has good action scenes. It's well shot. And the protagonist, Portia, is actually smart. It seems like she's trying to actually outwit this monster and not just lay there and scream helplessly. She cuts at the web, she gets to this elevator and uses it to crush the spider. And this makes pretty much everyone's best top 10 list when it comes to monsters. The third best episode is Per Chance to Dream, which I also give a 9 out of 10. Which is what it sounds like. It's a dream episode, and it has the best special effects of any episode of Monsters. They throw in green screens, models, tons of models, including the start of the episode where they take you through this model town. All stuff they didn't really have to do, but they really took the time and care to make this seem like a living world, or a living dream world. And it's an example where the visuals outclass the story, but that's okay. For a series that has a low budget and doesn't really have any other episode like this, and it not only stands out, but I think eclipses other episodes.
Megan? Is that you?
What's in there?
Nothing. Come on, let's go find that. Careful. Jump!
When you're watching a TV show, you want to be entertained, and you want to see things that you haven't seen in other TV shows. Or, in this case, in Monsters. And here you do. You see tons of special effects as it takes you through this dream world where he fights a guy that mugged him on the subway. It's also not too bizarre. The dream sequence is taking you through the main character's dreams, and you see things from his childhood, and some of the things he liked, his toys, and some of the music he used to listen to. So it's just taking you through his actual dreams, and doesn't get too far out there with trippy strobe lights going off. A reason a lot of people kind of hate dream episodes. I don't always like them either. Sometimes they're just a little too bizarre. It just seems like they're throwing stuff at the wall. But this one actually makes sense. It's taking you through mostly his childhood. The monster in this episode is not very good. He's not necessarily a monster. It's a guy in a leather jacket that he has to fight. So that is one thing that could have been done better, but overall, Perchance to Dream is one that really sticks out. It probably sticks out more than any other episode. And this was made more than 30 years ago, so of course the effects look dated, but they tried. I think it has a kind of nostalgic look to it. When I did my review, I compared it to FMV games like Phantasmagoria from the mid-90s. And yeah, it has that vibe to it. I like Perchance to Dream a lot, but some people definitely hate it.
You're back! Hello! How are you?
Fine. Are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I'm fine. My ankle doesn't hurt anymore.
Oh, good.
So, it looks like you've solved your problem, Alex.
Now I'm gonna make your dreams come true.
The fourth best episode of Season 2 is The Farmer's Daughter, which is episode 6 of Season 2, and it stars comedian Soupy Sales as a salesman who has his car break down and finds shelter with this elderly couple who lets him stay for the night, but they would like him to sleep upstairs in the room with their daughter. This seems a little odd. This is not typically what parents want you to do, so already something is off, and the atmosphere is quite creepy.
Cold feet. Sorry.
Cold feet, warm heart.
That's what Charlie said.
Who's Charlie?
Long gone, but not forgot. You must have been on your way to Aurora. No one ever comes to this old holler on purpose.
Well, as a matter of fact,
I know. I know that darn hairpin curve. You're one of them traveling salesmen, ain't you?
The firm of Peabody and Snodgrass, first in our field. This fiscal year, we had the best fourth quarter in the history of the company, thanks in no small part to the talents of yours truly, Howard Philby.
In my review, I compared it to the Tales from the Crypt episode Death of Some Salesmen, which shares basically the same story. So while Soupy Sales is upstairs sleeping in the same room with their daughter, there's a sheet between them, but of course, he's flirting with her and trying to get with her, and he does eventually get her, but she wants him to marry her, and he rejects this proposal. He's just trying to get a little action. He's not trying to marry anyone at this point, but this is the wrong thing to do.
How's a girl to know if a man's talking with his heart or with his baser instincts? How's a girl to know, Howard? How?
Lucy, I love you.
Don't say it if you don't mean it.
I love you more than...
You'll break my heart. You'll have your way with me, and then you'll leave your poor Lucy in the cold light of day. Just like
I would love you forever.
peas in a pod.
It's just that I got a lot of territory to cover, that's all.
You're just running out on me. As soon as you find out I'm not as girlish as you thought I was.
You're twisting my words.
Come out of there.
No use running. You're acting dumb. It's crazy to fret and fuss. Charlie learned that.
He begins to be chased by this girl in a bride outfit, and she decays right in front of him. The ending is a bit rushed, but it really is a scary episode. And you know something is wrong. You know something's going to go wrong. But the set looks great, and the corpse bride look is always very effective. As I said in my review, I think Death of Some Salesmen from Tales from the Crypt is better. The salesman is a lot smarter. He ends up marrying the girl, and then tries to knock her off, rather than Soupy Sales, who doesn't even pretend to marry her. Like, just pretend to marry her and then try to find some way out. He'll try to run away from a corpse.
So that I can't rest in peace will never, until one, just one, proves true.
Lucy, I'm that one, the man you've been searching for. It's not too late. I'll marry you. I'll give up my wandering. I'll settle down here in the city. You name it.
Will you? You wouldn't be afraid? Even if I'm not the girl I was.
Oh, sweetheart, you have an inner beauty.
I do?
Yes, I mean, and that's far more beautiful than those more transitory beauties. All I ask for is a chance. What can I do to prove myself to you?
Kiss me. Kiss me. Kiss me. Kiss me.
The fifth best episode of Season 2 of Monsters, Bed and Bore, starring our friend Steve Buscemi as actually a good guy. He's not a killer, not a mass murderer, he's not a crazy person, he's actually the good guy in this story. And this is a one-room location that really doesn't feel like it. It's bare bones, he's staying in this dingy hotel room, but it looks the part, and there's enough action in this episode that you really don't mind the small and dreary set, since that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a dingy hotel room. And he hears this girl and her boyfriend arguing in the room next to him. And after yelling at his girlfriend, the guy leaves, and the girl comes next door to Steve Buscemi, knocks on his door. It says that her boyfriend's being a jerk, and she needs his comfort. She's also pretty good looking, so he does give her some comfort.
Fine. I'm just cold.
Oh, I'll get you a towel. You can dry off.
Do you mind? Must have sounded awful to you. Carrying on like that. I try to tell him to keep quiet, but my husband is a pig. I mean, he has no manners.
There you at, bitch.
That's him.
Gonna teach you a lesson. You can't hide.
I used to have some kind of power over him. I could calm him down if I talked in a certain voice.
Hey,
Down to you.
I can't protect you if you don't do what I say.
I know your smell.
He's gonna smell me out.
Don't be silly.
Shh.
You're in there. With him.
Go away!
Shove her out the door.
I said go away!
Get rid of her. Chuck her out. Chuck her out!
You're in danger now.
But of course what happens is the boyfriend comes back, and he's not exactly much of a looker. In fact, he's a pig, a boar if you will. Apparently he just walks around like this all the time. He's just walking around outside looking like a pig and no one says anything. I should do a whole series on how this guy navigates day-to-day life, going to the grocery store, getting his oil changed, looking like a pig the entire time. I would imagine it would freak some people out. And we learn at the end that actually Sue is the bad one. She's a witch, and she enchants people, putting this boar spell on them and turning them into pigs, which is what she does to Steve Buscemi. I gave this episode an 8, and I really like it. It has a lot of rewatchability, since once you know that she's the bad one, you can kind of pick up on some of the spells that she cast on Steve Buscemi when he's not really paying attention.
I wasn't calling you bitch. It was witch.
Take it easy, big fella.
And the guy in the pig costume does not look ridiculous. He's very big and foreboding, and actually comes off as scary. This could easily have gone wrong. It's a guy wearing a pig mask. But the actor does a great job of coming off as menacing. And the sound effects when Sue enchants Steve Buscemi and when the boar is yelling and screaming work well to drive the menacing tone. I like Bed and Bore a lot. You get to see a nice Steve Buscemi, who's the most famous actor we've seen in this series. So it's worth watching just for that alone, but it's also a good, riveting story with some scary moments and some fight scenes, and what I always like, a femme fatale. That's our conclusion of the 5 best episodes of Season 2. We also did this for Season 1, and we're going to do it for Season 3 as well. Next, we're going to do the 5 worst episodes of Season 2. Check out our playlist for all episodes of Fear Itself, Cowboy Bebop, Tales from the Dark Side, and Monsters in order. I did a review of every single episode of Monsters.